Welcome to the most must-see Berkshire League talk show in history. Welcome to The Rundown. I'm Cody Dzis, and it's a little bit different than what you guys last saw. Last time that I was filming a video, I was doing it for Northwestern, and it was NWR7, The Rundown. But I recently had went through a name change, and now I'm only covering one sport, so it'll now be BLBB, The Rundown, Berkshire League Boys Basketball. I hope you guys follow the Instagram still, and that for all the people who aren't still involved with what I'm covering, I apologize for not covering you guys. It's just a lot that I would have to deal with. And this will be a lot easier for me, and this is a sport that I know really well, so if you're still interested, follow the Berkshire League Instagram, BLBB_ The Rundown, and and subscribe to the YouTube. Leave a comment as to what you guys would want to see on the rest of this channel, and like the video. Most importantly, for the amount of subscribers I have, we don't seem to get many likes on our videos, so definitely would appreciate it if you guys could smash the like button and leave a comment that suggests whatever you guys want to see, and we'll roll with it. Alright, we're going to get down into the game recaps in a sec, but I definitely want to say this is an interesting first day of basketball for the Berkshire League. This is the first time in history that everyone will be wearing a mask for the games, which is really interesting to me. With this whole pandemic going on, though, it is really cool that we'll be able to see all this action go on and see everything happen. And I'm just glad that the CIAC was able to put together this season still, even with everything going on. And as long as everyone stays safe and as long as everyone can, work through this entire season, I think it'll be a great season, and I can't wait to cover it. So let's start with covering the games from last night, shall we? Gilbert went to Housatonic on the road, and they came out firing. Dylan Crowley to start off the game. Hits one three-pointer. Hoosie gets a possession. They can't capitalize on it. Poor possession by Hoosie. Crowley comes back up and hits another three-pointer. 2 in a row for Crowley. Later on in the game, second quarter, Dylan Crowley finds one of his teammates from the post and gets the bucket. Gilbert was dominating from the get-go. Third quarter, Crowley, another chance to get more points. He had a historic night. There's one three-pointer. Hoosie comes down. They can't get a bucket. Crowley comes back down and hits another three. Dylan Crowley with a historic 54-point game, which ties a Berkshire League record for the most points in a single game. Hoosie looked all out of sorts in a dominant 82-51 win. Last night, Dylan Crowley was on a mission. That was something that I never would have expected to see again. Last year we saw Hunter Smith have 54 points, the most in Gilbert history before, and the most points in league history. But a repeat performance to start off the year, that's ridiculous to me, because I feel like it takes a while for someone to get into that kind of groove during the season, not to start off the season like that. So Dylan had a phenomenal game. He was on the money all night. Made 22 shots. I don't know how many attempted, but still making 22 shots in a game, in a Berkshire League game where there's 8-minute quarters, and for the most part, usually the ball gets swung around to basically everyone on the team. That was a phenomenal game by him, and I got to give a lot of respect to him. He proved that he's a baller, even more than he was last year with this performance. And it really shows what Gilbert can do when their top star or stars can really play to the level that they should. Dylan was very impressive. Hoosie, I'm sorry that you guys had to take the L, but if you don't stop Dylan Crowley, then you're going to have a rough time, and that was shown last night. Let's move on to the next game. Let's go to Litchfield, Thomaston. Thomaston led for the majority of the game, but Litchfield tried fighting early with a nice little bucket there through 3 defenders against Keegan Daigle at the rim. Head into the third quarter, and Ty Harkness starts off a nice run. Nice little jumper on the baseline. Nice little mid-range. And then Litchfield tried fighting through it. Daniel Dyke gets through the lane. He exited the first quarter, ended up coming back at halftime. So that was a good sign for Litchfield. Thomaston, after that bucket, came out with a 3-pointer and then a steal. And I believe that was Ty Harkness again. And then on the defensive end, to end the game, a nice rejection by Thomaston. It was a big game for Thomaston to come out with. Chad Sucker and Brendan Fainer out of this game. But Thomaston, with all odds against them in that one, get the win against Litchfield. Considering the fact that Thomaston was able to win last night, it actually makes things pretty interesting because Litchfield, they were a lower team last year in the standings. I think they were the 7 or 8 seed in the Berkshire League tournament. So that was kind of something that I was eyeing on. And also with the loss of Matt Russo this past summer, I was a little concerned on how they would be able to play. They kept it close for a little bit in the game, but Thomaston's a very great team this year. And they were able to win by double digits without their all-BL player, Chad Suckley, who was out with an ankle injury, and then Brendan was out due to safety protocols. I think this is a very interesting look for things for Thomaston. I mean, when they come back, when Chad and Brendan are both back, that team's going to be hard to stop. You have Keegan Daigle in the middle, where he's a dominant center right now. You have Ty Harkness, who's proved that when he's called upon, he can score, and he's a very good player. Last night, he played really well. I am going to give a lot of respect to him. Chad Suckley was all BL last year, and I know how well he's played over the last couple of years. He's a very good player. He might be the MVP of the Berkshire League. I think he might put his name in that hat when he comes back. But Thomaston really showed what they can do. They really showed how powerful of a team they can be, even without some of their bigger stars. So, if I was to choose now, obviously, like for beginning of the year, I'm going to choose Thomaston. I think they have a very, very great chance of coming out on top of the Berkshire League. And it's no disrespect to the other teams. I just think with everyone that they have, I mean, Keegan, Chad, Ty, Brendan, this is a good team. This is a team that a lot of people last year thought were going to be one of the better teams. They were a top 3 team. I think they're going to be number 1 this year. But we'll just have to see down the line. There's going to be a lot of tough games this year, and there's going to be a lot of different situations that every team has to deal with. So Thomaston is a team that I'm looking at for sure. Litchfield, I'm going to take a pretty big look at as well, just to see how well they play due to everything that's happened this past offseason and how they were last season compared to this year. So it's going to be an interesting look, and I wish the best for both of the teams. Terryville went on the road to Northwestern, and this was a blowout by Northwestern. Curtis Blishy, the big man, can shoot. An impressive shot. And then Freddie Camp with a huge rejection on Dominic Dow. Big time play by a sophomore player. And then Jack Lavoie taking over. Hits a nice pull-up elbow shot. And then later on, gets a pass from Jake Brodnitsky, hits the 3, and then drives in through a bunch of defenders. A beautiful up and under. And then Freddie with another huge block. Freddie Camp played well. Northwestern gets a dominant win over Terryville this game. Now, I'm going to be honest. I expected this game to be a lot closer. I expected Northwestern and Terryville to fight to the end between the two. But it certainly wasn't the case last night. I mean, Northwestern came out of the gate firing. They came out playing really well. They actually did a lot that I did not expect. There were some people on that team that I know pretty well that I didn't expect to, show up and show out. But they did, and they proved themselves. There were some people on both teams also that didn't have as good of nights. On Terryville, Jake Rinkovich didn't really do as much as I had expected. Northwestern, Clay Maloney had kind of an off game, but he's a good shooter, so I think he'll be able to fix it. And same with Jake. Jake I've seen a couple times, and I've seen how well he can shoot when he's on, so I think he'll get it back on track. Clay as well. Jack Lavoie really impressed me last night because I did not expect the amount of points that he had gotten to actually be scored. Like, I know Jack as a player, and he is a great player. But last year when he was in, he didn't shoot really that much. And with this whole, with all the seniors that had left Northwestern, there was about 5 or 6 that had been gone. I wasn't sure how he was going to step into the role of turning into the lead point guard. But he did a great job. Him and Jake both put up 13 points. Curtis put up 20. So I think this is going to be an interesting Northwestern team to see down the line. In Terryville, it was one rough night. It is the start of the season, so I'm not saying this is going to be a consistent thing. But to start off the year like that, it does not look good. I will be completely honest. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the top 5 plays from yesterday from the rundown. Let's go to number 5. Dylan Crowley had an excellent scoring night, but on this one, it's him passing down low from the post to his teammate. An excellent play by Dylan Crowley to find the open man with 2 men on him. Number 4, Freddie Camp gets back on fast break and soars up for the excellent block. Incredible athleticism from Freddie there. Number 3, Ty Harkness had a big game against Litchfield. He's going to take it to the baseline. He's going to pull it. It's good! Ty Harkness and Thomaston get the win over Litchfield. Number 2, Jack Lavoie goes through the entire defense and somehow makes the layup, the up and under, beautiful layup. And then number 1, Dylan Crowley, a historic 54-point night. Scoring the ball, he was insane. There's one 3-pointer you just saw. Now you just see a Housatonic possession gone wrong. Another missed shot. Crowley comes up, and he gets another 3-pointer in a row. 2 straight threes on 2 straight possessions. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your top 5 plays from last night. Before we go, I want to actually give my predictions for the standings of who's going to finish where in the Berkshire League. I think this is good to get out now because you might as well have a bar for people to set. And you might as well have someone that thinks different and someone that might be able to give some BL teams a good chance at riding with it and trying to push their way to, the Berkshire League title. So, number 1, I said before, I think Thomaston is going to be the top team in the league. And I already had said my reasons earlier, so I'm not going to repeat myself. Nanawag will be at number 2 again. They did not have any changes to their roster last year, or from last year heading into this year. John Kazaka is getting better. Cosmo Lovig is good. Aiden Colby is good. This is a team that last year, I think they easily could have beaten that Wamogo team. but they just weren't able to put up as many points. They only lost by 8 in the championship to a powerful Wamogo team that was there for 3 straight years. So I got to give my respect to Nonalog. I think they're going to be number 2 again, but they might be able to prove themselves when it comes to playoff time. Chapag, I think, is going to rise up from what they were last year, only by 1. They were the 4 seed last year. I think they'll be 3 this year. While they have Owen Hibbard and Mike Parachi and Cole Davenport back, I'm just not really sure about how their bench is going to play. I do believe in Coach Lefebvre and how he runs his system. I believe that Chapag is a very good team, and I think they'll be able to do some damage in the tournament and in the regular season. They're a great regular season team. For number 4, after last night, I'm going to go with Northwestern. I think Northwestern is a team that a lot of people doubted the last couple years because of ever since losing Zach Penn and Jason Riola, Ben North, that illustrious Northwestern group that got so far in states. It was kind of on a really big decline, I think. And it was something that Coach Seabach wasn't able to really control or fix. I think this is a tough group. This is a group that, they have their shooters, they have their defenders, they have everything that you really need. Playmakers, they have athletic players like Freddie Camp, Ian Thompson. This is going to be a very, very good team. Compared to the other 3 above them, I don't see them rising above them because I know how well Northwestern can play. But I just know that Chapag has gotten their number over the last couple years. Nonalogs, I think, split the series with them. And then Thomaston's a very good team. It's going to be hard to beat them. Terryville, I'm going to go with number 5 because Terryville is a team that last year I think should have done better. Considering this year they did lose a good amount or a couple seniors that were pretty good and worthy to the team, but I don't know. I just think it's the type of year where Dylan Machulis and Dom Dow and Jake Rinkovich, those 3 are going to take over. They're going to turn this team into, something special. Sean O'Donnell as well. They have 4 great players that I think will be able to to do some damage. So I'm rooting for Terryville for number 5. Number 6, I'm gonna go Gilbert. Last year, I believe they were 7th. So 1 extra spot. I mean, yes, a dominant win against Hoosie last night. But I don't know. I could just see Gilbert not really. I don't see them in the top part of it. I see them right in the middle where I think they would do pretty well. In this case, if the tournament were to end with the way I'm predicting, they would play Chapag, and it'd be a tough game. But I think Gilbert will do well for the most part, but they'll still be in 6th. Wamogo for me is 7th. And yes, a lot of people would probably ask why 7th. I mean, they lost all their guys. Their entire varsity team was seniors, and then one guy named Charlie Coffey, who ended up taking a starting job for the playoffs and for the end of the regular season. So Charlie's a good player, and I believe in Charlie. I believe he's a good enough player to lead this team far enough, but it's going to be difficult for him and Greg Hunt to be able to bring this team to the glory that they've seen over the last few years. Maybe they'll come out and prove themselves and completely prove me wrong and still continue to be dominant because Greg Hunt is a great coach, and I believe Charlie is good enough to step up as a leader now. So this should be an interesting thing. Right now I'm going to rank them lower, but I'm not counting them out to rise up to the top. And then number 8 and 9, I think Litchfield and Hoosie are going to stay at 8 and 9, just like they were last year. There's a lot that's gone on for Litchfield this year that might be getting in their heads, might lack their confidence a bit. And against Thomaston, we saw that they weren't really able to take the win. So I just think Litchfield will be the 8. Hoosie got dominated by Gilbert, who I have at 6 right now. And yes, Dylan had a really big night, but if he were to not have a big night, Gilbert would still win that game to me. I don't see Hoosie being in the tournament this year or even next year, I will say. But we'll just have to see how things go. But that's going to do it for this episode. That's who I predict for standings. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked the video. Smash that like button, please. Give me some comments in the comment section of what you guys want to see on this channel going forward, along with everything that I'm going to try to do. Subscribe to the channel. We definitely could use that love for subscribers. And follow the Instagram at BLBB_the rundown. And anything else that I usually say at the end of these videos. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And good luck to every team for the rest of this season. We'll be back on Thursday with another video. Peace.